Shamaya, you did it.
STL Music.
Is that welcome back to the show. Yo, listen up, we back in the game. Sweep the league, we got the flame. On the data to the fullest, every single day we wake up, get it in every way. Right for the troops on the global inspiration. Talk this sports and top news, no hesitation. Sweep the league is back. We always coming back, that's a fact. Wanna tell them that. STL Music, mama, we did it. Where we at? Coach Jill in the house with the flow so tight. Derrick, Ruby rocks, that's we unite. Yeah, the best show, Monday through Friday. If this ain't different, they lying. We got the energy. When I say sweep, you say the league. Sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league, sweep the league. San Antonio, let's go. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. Sweep the league. San Antonio.
Hi, it's Sherilyn, and you're watching Sweep the League TV. Follow me on Instagram at official Sherilyn for more content.
Hey, this is George Iceman Gervin, and you're listening to Sweep the League Radio.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Taco Tuesday of the let me get that right again. Taco Tuesday episode of Sweep the League, brought to you by La Cocina Taco Truck in New Braunfels, MCS General Contracting, the absolute best general contractors in the business, Castro and Sons Solar Company, and Special Leaf Tea. Telling you guys, jump on that Special Leaf bandwagon. It's some healthy stuff, man. We got a great show tonight. It's going to be myself. It's going to be the Hall of Famer, Derrick Gervin. We're going to be breaking down the WNBA All-Star Weekend. Saw some glimpses of what the future is going to hold for the WNBA. Also, Team USA, another scare against Germany. Does that play a factor? Are we still undervaluing and underhyping Team USA? I've made mention before that I have them as a bronze winning team. I don't see them winning gold. I don't see them winning silver. We made a point to where they're in division, the C, class C, but even that class is not very easy. They still have to go up against Serbia. They've got to go up against South Sudan again, who almost gave them a scare recently. Are you going to get the better teams against Team USA playing at a higher level? We're going to get into that as well, as the Olympics are right around the corner. We saw the women's Team USA dominate today against, I believe it was Germany, so they're ready to go. Not only that, some NFL news. CeeDee Lamb looks like he's going to be holding out. The other thing that we were talking about a while back, he was probably going to hold out without a contract. So just a lot of stuff to get into. It's going to be myself. It's going to be Derrick Gervin. We'll see if Coach Gio joins us here in a little bit, but let's get into a couple of comments while Derrick's coming on here. We got Tim Gonzalez, of course. The Blue Devils suck. Tar Heels rule everything. Great wrestling talk last night, Rudy. Yeah, I'll be watching AEW. I'm going to record it for you guys, and I'll do a show. And Leha, what's good, cabrones? Secure the bag, hustle hard, and remember, no feelings, only chaos. MCS General Contracting. Shout out to Chris Leha, man. You're definitely right. You got to hustle hard. You got to secure the bag. You know what? You also got to put the people that help you get to where you want to go, put them in front, put them in the spotlight, let them shine because they're helping you grow. Appreciate everything that you do for us here. Let's bring on the Hall of Famer himself, Hall of Famer Derrick Gervin. Derrick, what is up, man?
Hey, how you doing? Good evening, sir.
Good, man. I didn't get to ask you. You have a good weekend?
Yeah, it was great. Keeping up with the sports that's going on. I mean, you got golf. I mean, you had it all. Soccer has been going on. You had the basketball. You had the men's and women. So it's been a lot going on. So it's been exciting. I'm doing fine.
Yeah, it was a very, very exciting weekend sports-wise. I think we saw the I guess not. Can you say a turn of a leaf on the WNBA side? We're seeing Team USA have their struggles. We're going to get into all that here in just a second. Let's break down the WNBA All-Star Weekend here in just a second, Derrick. Got another comment from Radine. Why not pay Dak? He's a top 5 quarterback. It's crazy. We're gonna get into that. Trust me. We're gonna get into NFL talk in the second part of the show here. A lot of Cowboy stuff coming out, so we will get into that. Don't go anywhere, Radine. Appreciate you joining the show. This first segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. MCS General Contracting, like we've been saying, the foundation is the most important part. Even for a sports talk show like us, it's built on foundation. MCS General Contracting has helped us build that foundation to provide the sports talk and the entertainment talk that we provide to you guys out there. So shout out to Chris Leha, MCS General Contracting, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. The segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting. You saw Team USA, Derrick, versus the WNBA All-Stars on Saturday. We talked a little bit of Friday night about how the WNBA Friday night, the skills challenge was okay. The 3-point contest was okay. The 3-on-3 competition was okay. They're doing a good job building, the All-Star Weekend for the ladies, but then you get into the actual game, and you saw Enrique just go crazy. And I mean, she's been a star in the league for a while, but what I noticed the most was you saw what you and I have been talking about, all the talk about Caitlin versus Angel, and there's got to be hatred and all that. That seemed to have been squashed a little bit, in my opinion, on Saturday night because they both played together. At the end, Angel talked pretty highly of Caitlin. So I like the new turning of the cheek thing that we're seeing in WNBA because Angel made a little comment at the end saying, who knows, in 4 years, maybe they'll be able to actually play together as teammates. I kind of liked what I saw from the WNBA All-Star game.
Well, it was a great game overall. The game was very exciting. One of the most exciting that I've seen, men or women. And of course, the Angel and Caitlin dynamic, of course, has been going on basically since college now. So I'm hoping we can finally put that behind us and just move forward, man. It was a great thing. They got a lot of good things going on right now in the WNBA, including the $2.2 billion over 11 years. That's big. So, you got to start somewhere. So I'm excited, man. I mean, Caitlin and the Angel both played well. I thought pretty much everybody played well in the All-Star game. It was a competitive, but it wasn't anybody really playing a bad game. Everybody was hustling, giving their all. And I thought it was something that was fantastic as they continue to grow the WNBA game. And I'm going to continue to support them.
Yeah, it's been a fantastic season so far. I had a bunch of ups and downs, more ups more than down at all. I mean, I know the whole, like we said, Caitlin, Angel, all that stuff going on. It was eventually going to pass over, and I think the WNBA did a great job because having both of those rookies in the WNBA All-Star game, you showed, and it showed everybody that this league is on the right path. And I'm excited to see what else is coming up here. For the WNBA. Great job, man. Great shout out to the WNBA there. Ray Dean's got an quick NBA question. I'm going to let you handle this one. Do you think the Lakers with 2 top 10 players can win a championship?
That's a tough one, Ray. I think the Lakers, I can't overlook them. I'll say they're in the mix. How about that? Because when you got Anthony Davis playing like he's played the last 2 years, I'll say, not just here in the Olympics or in the trials or what, I mean, the exhibitions, but overall, he's played really well. And LeBron has continued to defy age, I'll say. And so you got to always put them in the mix. Of course, they got Dalton Connect and Bronny now. So I think Dalton Connect is going to be a really important part of their roster. I think he's going to play a lot of minutes. I'm excited to see what they can do with him and Hachimura and Austin Reeves on the wing. And maybe they need one more wing player, but with the team they have right now, I could see them being one of the top 6 teams. I'll say that.
I don't think it's kind of like, when you talk about what Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes, it's kind of rule out LeBron James. I mean, I know he's missed the playoffs a couple of times in his career, but it's kind of hard to rule them out. We know for a fact the West is loaded this year. Like it is massively loaded in the West to where I mean, even you've got Spurs fans already talking about, well, they got to win 40 games, and I still don't have them. I think Vegas has them at 36. I still got them around
Yeah.
28, 29, 30 right now. So I mean, I'm not buying it, but the West being really loaded, the Lakers with two, top 10 players, anything can happen. I mean, I always tell everybody, give it till the All-Star break because that's when the trade deadline is. If they make another move or two and the right move, then you're talking that the Lakers could be one of the better teams in the West. But right now, I'm kind of like with Derrick. Can't really put them in the playoffs just yet, guaranteed. Are they a top 6 team in the West? I don't really know yet. They're definitely a play-in team. I think they're a play-in team more than they are a playoff team.
They're not much better right now than last year on paper. And but I think they're going to make another move. But right now, it's currently constructed. I'm being nice saying number 6. And the reason I say that is because the number 6 team last year didn't have a great record. And I think it was Phoenix up there somewhere. Who finished 6? Maybe
That was
Phoenix?
Phoenix, I believe. Yeah.
Yeah, so they didn't have a great record. I just think right now, it's a toss up, man. It's early in the year. We don't know what the Lakers are going to do as we move towards preseason or any of that training camp. And I'll put them in there because they have LeBron and AD playing better than they ever have in several years, I'll say, and the best they've ever played, Rudy, as a combination. And they've
Yeah.
both been healthier, so that's why I would factor them in, just because they have two of the best players that we're seeing right now on the Olympic team. And I think if they're healthy, they're going to be right there in the middle. Number 6. I can see them being there.
Real quick, I just want to ask an off the cuff question, but when you look at Dalton Connect, I mean, what do you think? He plays 22, 23 minutes right off the bat?
Well, that's still to be determined. But I mean, you got going right in. I would say yes, no less than that. They're going to have to get this guy in there early, and I think he's ready. So we know that he's a shooter. He can go off the dribble. That's something that they've been missing. They didn't necessarily bring in a veteran yet, but they have this young man, and I think they're going to turn the keys over to him this year and let him play his game. I think his ascension will be quicker than Austin Reeves, to be honest. I think that he has a little more in his bag. He has size, for one. He's a little bigger than Austin.
Yeah.
I think he can do the same things, and I think he's more athletic than Austin.
Yeah.
And so I think that's going to help him. He's a heck of a player. We saw him at Tennessee. I thought he's a heck of a player there. And I think he has a bright future.
Yeah, it's kind of funny. And actually, I looked it up. He said Mavericks was 6 seed, but actually Phoenix.
So Phoenix had to be what?
No,
Phoenix was up
6.
there. What?
Yeah, Phoenix was 6. There was Oklahoma City, Denver, Minnesota, the Clippers, Dallas, Phoenix. So I'm looking at the standings.
Phoenix was 6, yeah.
Phoenix was 6. But, the thing with Dalton Connect is what I go down and I'm looking at the Lakers roster here is I think we see a better breakout year for a player like Austin Reeves. Dalton Connect can make life a lot easier for Austin Reeves because when they're both on the floor, Austin can get to the basket, but you cannot, you can't slip over to guard Austin Reeves. You have to respect Dalton's shooting. So I think a player that benefits from Dalton Connect being there is Austin Reeves. I think he actually has a pretty damn good season this year.
I think so. I agree with that, but we got to factor in the style of play. We don't know what kind of style JJ Redick is going to implement. We know it's not going to be the same plays that Darvin Ham was running, so that's different. But they're going to be a pretty good team. I mean, they got AD has been playing, to me, honestly, like the best big man the last year and a half.
Yeah.
And he's definitely been the best defender, and then maybe the best defender in the league. They talked about Gobert and Wembanyama, but AD was right there in my mind.
Yeah.
So he's continued. But overall, the whole course of the season, he was consistent. He played a lot of games. He just played really well. He made All-NBA second team. I thought he did well, and they rewarded him this year with the second team. And with him and a healthy LeBron's still looking pretty good. They could surprise some teams in the Western Conference.
Yeah, I definitely think they can, man. If you guys want to subscribe to our YouTube, we surely would appreciate it. We're giving away a lot of stuff. We just gave away an Amazon gift card yesterday, $25 Amazon gift card just for subscribing. I mean, you got to take advantage of all the prizes and all the stuff we're giving away because you know what? It's free to subscribe. Last time I checked, YouTube doesn't charge you to subscribe. So just all you got to do is get to your YouTube, subscribe to Sweep the League. All you can just go to YouTube at Sweep the League TV, basically subscribe, and you can get into all the giveaways that we have here at Sweep the League. So, getting back to WNBA talk because of the weekend was there, Derrick. I started to really think about something here. And I started to think, man, I'm going to go all over the place. You got the Celtics, you had the domination of the 49ers. You've got, the Pittsburgh Steelers. You got, even the NBA, you've got the Lakers. I mean, so many, the New York Yankees in baseball. How do people overlook the fact that the Houston Comets, the original Comets, won the first four? They had a four-peat in the WNBA. The very first four titles were in Houston. How are they not ever considered as a dynasty in that era, like for that era? But also, they were probably the most dominant big three that we've ever seen assembled in any sport, I think, for basketball at least. I mean, you're talking Cynthia Cooper, Cheryl Swoops, and Tina Thompson. There was nobody beating that trio at all.
Well, you got a lot of the younger people today that don't keep up with the history of the game, so they only know the me, what's been going on the last 10 or 20 years or 15 years. So
Yeah.
they didn't keep up with the Cynthia Coopers and the Tina Thompsons, the the Jeanette Arcanes, and the Kim Perrots. They didn't know anything about that, but without question, they're one of the greatest teams that ever played, and they're the first to do it. I
Yeah.
mean, you had the league going on 4 years. They won four championships, and that wasn't just by coincidence or happenstance. They had some outstanding players that played together. They played for the betterment of the team as opposed to playing for themselves, and they put it all together, and they were rewarded with it. And of course, they had two of the best players that ever played. And Tina could also arguably be in there as well when you talk
Yeah.
about the best that's ever done it.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking about earlier, man. Like, geez, you've got to give them so much love when it comes to the Houston Comets. That was definitely one of the dominant teams, overall teams in any sport, any of the major sports. I mean, you're talking what the Celtics are the only team to ever win multiple, and I'm talking 4+ outside of
8 in
that.
a row.
Yeah, I mean, there's no team that's done it in the NBA. No team's done it in the WNBA. I mean, Buffalo Bills with the 4 Super Bowls, but I mean, they haven't won. So that's got to be one of the bigger and better types of accomplishments in all of sports. Ray saying that Gabe Vincent is back too for the Los Angeles
The
Lakers.
Lakers. Yeah.
So, I mean, the Lakers are they're going to be. I think they're going to be about the same. They won 47 games last year. I kind of put them around that 47 wins as well. Again, I don't see more. I don't see less.
With a healthy Gabe and possibly a healthy Jared Vanderbilt, I mean, you're looking at a different team. And Vanderbilt played a important part when he was healthy.
Yeah.
The year now, I won't say this past season, but the season before in the playoffs. So if you get a healthy Vanderbilt back and you get Gabe Vincent finally acclimated to the team, he doesn't have to worry about Spencer Dinwiddie still in his minutes. So if they give him an opportunity, and I think JJ Redick is going to start off playing an 8 or 9 guy rotation. I really believe that 8 or 9 players to start off and try to go that way and see how it goes because you got to give some of those guys, Hachimura and all those guys, an opportunity to be on the floor. And I think they're going to be a little better team than last year. But it still remains to be seen because it's still got a lot of moves out there that are going to happen before the year is over.
Is it difficult to predict what the Lakers are going to do only because of JJ Redick? I mean, when you had a head coach being hired, you were like, okay, Pop's here. He's a head coach. We're going to expect hard defensive players. We're also going to expect, a half court game. Same thing with like Jerry Sloan. You get in those types of teams. But not only that, you look at a guy like Mike D'Antoni and you're like, okay, it's going to be a fast paced offensive game. It's going to be score, score, score. Probably not much on the defensive end. But with JJ coaching the Lakers, it's difficult to say what they're going to run. So would it be ideal to think that it's going to be tough for the first maybe month for teams to actually figure out what the hell the Lakers are doing? Because nobody has seen this guy coach. Nobody knows how he's going to coach. I mean, he's got what, Nate McMillan as an assistant, as well as Scotty Brooks, two different styles of coaches. So it's going to be, to me, it's going to be difficult, to figure out what these Lakers are going to do right off the bat.
I think they're going to get up and down the floor. JJ is a guy we know that shot the 3-pointer.
Yeah.
And he's conformed to today's game. And he knows that it takes that 3-pointer to win. And I think that's why one reason they brought in Connect. I think a healthy Gabe Vincent can knock down shots. They've got some guys who can shoot the ball. LeBron shot a pretty good percentage, the best of his career, I believe, last year from three. And so they get, D'Angelo Russell is back. Hopefully he'll be a little more comfortable. And they got a roster. I mean, anytime you got AD out there, it covers up a lot of mistakes on both ends of the court. So when you got that, it always keeps you at least in the running. And some teams haven't upgraded, like my Denver Nuggets. I don't think they've upgraded. So that's one team that the Lakers could give problems. And there's some others. Golden State is still a question mark. We don't know what they're looking like yet. Sacramento is a question mark now with DeMar DeRozan, but they lose. They re-sign Malik Monk, so we don't know how that's going to work. Sabonis, is he going to play? We don't know if he's going to be the All-Star during the regular season, and then the playoffs. We know what Sabonis we get. So they got a lot, So it's a lot of teams So the Lakers, that's why I put them in that 6th spot. There's a lot of teams that still have questions. The Pelicans still have questions.
That one team that we talk about, and we talked about them recently, is the Phoenix Suns with, Durant, Beal, and Booker. We say, man, they got to get a point guard. There's actually a point guard, surprisingly, that's out there right now. I'm kind of dumbfounded as to how he hasn't been signed even to a minimum deal. I mean, he deserves more than a minimum. But if I'm Phoenix, I'm making that phone call to Markelle Fultz. And I'm saying, you know what? Let me see if I can get you back into the Phoenix area. Let's get you into Phoenix. Run the point. I'm not asking you to be a scorer. I don't really care if you shoot. Run the point. I think a Markelle Fultz would be an excellent distributor and floor general for Phoenix. So that way you're not relying on Bradley Beal or Devin Booker to bring the ball up. I don't know. Is it crazy to think that Markelle Fultz could be a starting point guard for that Phoenix team and make a difference?
Fultz, or they might even entertain. We'll see what happens because the Knicks brought in Cameron Payne, and we're going to find out that they jumped the gun on that because that kid Tyler Kolek is nice.
Oh, yeah.
He can really play the game, and I think they're going to have to find minutes for him. But, yeah, if you can get a Markelle Fultz, some energy, a guy that's still got some years ahead of him, he's been healthy the last year or so. I would take a chance on that. Phoenix definitely needs a point guard. That's not even a question. We've been through that. We've tried it. It didn't work without a point guard. Devin Booker is not a true point guard, and neither is Bradley Beal. So you got to have someone that can come in there and run the offense. And until they do that, I look at them as the same team they were last year, only I don't think they would finish as high in the rankings right now with the same team.
Yeah, I don't know. And the other team that came to mind for point guard position was obviously the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, Markelle Fultz with Milwaukee frees up Dame, comes off the screens. It allows Giannis to roam a little bit freer. So of both teams that need a point guard, I think we're looking at, for me, it's Phoenix that desperately needs it with the stars that they have there. I think Fultz fits in really well there. You're right about the Cameron Payne. The one team that I really love, and I know I've talked so highly about them, is Orlando. I mean, Orlando, they've been reloading quietly in the offseason.
Hey, Rudy, can I say something quickly about Milwaukee?
Yeah.
The guy I think fits there, and I still don't think him and Donovan Mitchell are going to play together to start the season. Because you picture Darius Garland in Milwaukee?
Oh, man, that's like a Drew Holiday type move from Milwaukee for me. I mean, it's going to make a huge difference maker.
Man. It helps them. It brings youth to the team. It brings a guy who I think is still ascending. He's continuing to get better. And you put him on a team with Giannis and Dame, I think that makes them that opens up the floor for Giannis. with those two because they both can knock down shots. And then we know Middleton's not going to be there, I don't believe, for the first half of the season. I don't believe. But they got to figure out what they're going to do. But if you bring in a guy with Derrick, like Darius Garland, you get better immediately. It speeds up the tempo, and he's a guy that can go off the dribble and get in there and create, or he can score.
Yeah, I'm thinking Darius Garland does make sense there in Milwaukee. Tim's asking a few questions here about Team USA. Tim, on the way back from the commercial break, we're going to do our Team USA breakdown for you here. So just be a little patient. We'll get to some Team USA talk on the second part of the show here. Jeff Garcia, Locked On Spurs. Shout out to Locked On Spurs. He's in here. Rudy, do you think teams will sleep on the Spurs next season? I really don't know on that sense of the Spurs if they're going to be sleeping on them. Everybody has Victor Wembanyama circled. I mean, they know exactly what they're getting into when they're playing the Spurs. But again, I as constructed, I still have them at that 30 wins. Maybe, like I said, 32 is my ceiling right now. That's what I've got them as currently constructed. So not so much that they're sleeping on them. I think the Spurs can they can sneak up on a couple of teams and maybe make it tough and difficult for teams. But I think Victor's going to be great this season like he was last year, probably a little bit better. But again, there's nothing on the team that screams that this team's going to make a whole lot of noise, Derrick.
Well, teams won't sleep on them because the Spurs play hard 48 minutes. And if you look at it, they play pretty good in the last 25 to 30 games of the year. And teams remember that. Some of the young guys on these new teams or these new players might have to be made aware of it, but all the veterans are aware of it. Spurs are going to be there. They're going to compete until the clock says 0. And so, no, teams aren't going to sleep on them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too. I mean, they're going to know exactly what, they're getting into when it comes to the San Antonio Spurs this year. I don't think they're going to be sneaking up on anybody or anyone's going to sleep on them. Definitely not, especially with Victor playing now. I mean, Victor's been playing out of his mind. So when we get back, we're going to talk about Team USA. We saw the struggles with South Sudan. We saw the struggles with Germany. Derrick and I have talked a little bit behind the scenes on this stuff. We're going to get our takes here for Team USA as they head in to the Paris Games. Let's be honest, I have more faith in the women's Team USA winning gold than I do the men's, but that's been my concern here for a while is the men's team. So we're going to get into some Team USA talk when we get back. It's Hall of Famer Derrick Irvin and Rudy Campos Jr. for Sweep the League. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, also La Cocina Taco Truck, and Castro and Son Solar. We'll be back, guys. Spurs fans, are you ready to stay ahead of the game of the San Antonio Spurs with the best coverage in the business? Tune in to Locked On Spurs, the daily podcast that brings you expert analysis, exclusive interviews, and all the latest news and updates for your silver and black. Join Jeff Garcia, the most informative and entertaining host in the game, as he breaks down all Spurs news and notes, interviews the biggest names, and keeps you locked into all things Spurs. From Monday to Friday, get ready to start your day with the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out on the expert opinions, the hot takes, and the can't-miss guests. Make sure you're locked in with Locked On Spurs. Subscribe to their YouTube channel now and stay ahead of the game all season long. Locked On Spurs. It's the best Spurs coverage in the business. Don't miss out. Hey guys, are you ready for a flavor explosion? Look no further than La Cocina Taco Truck, serving up the best street tacos and quesadillas in New Braunfels. With a 5-star rating and rave reviews, they're not just a taco truck. They are a taste sensation. La Cocina staff is the best in town and pride themselves on making every customer feel like family. Whether you're feeding a crowd or just satisfying your own cravings, they've got you covered because no order is too big or too small for them there. Louis and his staff are all about customer satisfaction and they love their community. Don't worry, San Antonio friends, they're just a short trip away to New Braunfels. So why wait? come visit La Cocina Taco Truck today and taste the difference for yourself. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, where every bite is a fiesta. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League. Are you looking for a contracting company that gets the job done right the first time? Look no further than MCS General Contracting. MCS specializes in top quality concrete work, including patios, driveways, foundations, and swimming pools. The team of experts are dedicated to delivering exceptional results and unparalleled customer satisfaction. At MCS General Contracting, they're not just hardworking, they're local. Based in San Antonio, they are committed to building relationships and trust within the community. That's why MCS guarantees your satisfaction. They pride themselves on getting the job done right the first time, every time. So why wait? Contract MCS General Contracting today to schedule your project and experience the difference for yourself. MCS General Contracting, building a better San Antonio, one project at a time. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Pops the mastermind, got the team what we need. 5 rings deep, we the Dynasty Kings. From the Alamo Dome to the banners we bring.
All right, welcome back to Sweep the League, the Taco Tuesday edition, brought to you by La Cocina Taco Truck. Every Taco Tuesday, you got to think about La Cocina Taco Truck. Back with Hall of Famer Derrick Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, as well as Special Leaf Tea and Castro and Sons Solar. This next segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck. We did mention La Cocina Taco Truck. It is Taco Tuesday, man. I wish Taco Tuesday was every day, because then you hit up La Cocina every day, Thursday through Sunday, 8 p.m. till the last person leaves. The best street tacos and the best quesadillas around South Texas. Trust me, believe me, the absolute best. Wouldn't lie to you. Derrick and I would never lie to you about that. We're telling you the truth here. That's La Cocina Taco Truck, proud sponsors of Sweep the League. If you want to call us, we have the Sweep the League call-in numbers, 830-499-1852. Drop your takes, drop some questions, do whatever you guys want to do. Speaking of Taco Truck, what's up, Louis? Louis in here. La Cocina himself here. It is Taco Tuesday. Hit up La Cocina Taco Truck every Thursday through Sunday, 8 p.m. till the last person leaves. What up, Louis? How you doing, man? So Derrick, before we go to the Team USA talk, Jeff's back in here. He says, Derrick, you've played pro ball. Do teams really sleep on the opposition?
Yes, because sometimes you expect it to be a walkover, so you don't prepare yourself like you should mentally and physically. And you end up having what they call an upset. It happens a lot of times. It shouldn't happen, but it does. Sometimes you just think you have too much firepower for another team. And as we know, that any given day, anything can happen. So if you don't come out prepared and the other team makes the right adjustments and they come out prepared and they want it more, yes, teams can overlook the opposition without a doubt.
Yeah, it happens a lot, and it happens just about in every sport, man. You overlook a team, and you've got the big game in 2 weeks, and then you have that week before you have the big game, and you're just showing up, and you get your butt handed to you. It happens all the time, man, in sports. So Ray Dean's in here, and he's dropping like a lot of stuff that we were talking about. He's dropping a lot of great comments too. He says you need the great consistent coaches. Collect have gone will help JJ achieve some success. Yeah, I mean, the Nate McMillan, Scott Brooks is going to help JJ Redick tremendously already. So I think that was 2 great hires for a guy with no coaching experience. That's definitely 2 great hires. That's where I think it's going to be the difference for JJ. It's going to be kind of tough to actually game plan for the Lakers this year to start the season. So we're going to talk some Team USA now. This segment is brought to you again by MCS General Contracting and La Cocina Taco Truck. So Tim's dropped a couple of comments here. He says, to me, Derrick and Rudy, Team USA need to cut down on their turnovers, play defense. That's their weakness. He's also mentioned the fact that he wants to take on USA versus Germany. I believe it was the women's today, earlier today. And then the other questions that he had was something's wrong with Team USA's men yesterday, Derrick and Rudy. Okay, yeah. So overall, the Team USA performances against like South Sudan and then, of course, against Germany, Team USA was down. I mean, they were losing. It took the one player that you and I believe that if you're gonna circle this guy as to be the man, you're in trouble. And it's funny because you talk about one of the quote unquote greatest players of the game, and if LeBron James has to be the man, it's safe to say that Team USA is not going to be the man, right?
Well, I said going into this tournament, I was hoping he wasn't the best player. Maybe that'll change with the addition of Kevin Durant coming back. But well, I told you, Rudy, yesterday about KD, so I'm gonna take that back because it looks like KD's gonna be out for a while.
Yeah.
He's still having calf problems. So I think they got to make some adjustments. I still think they got to figure out. I guess MB looks in a little better shape now. But they got to spread the ball a little more. Sometimes they get a little stagnant and they start going too much one on one. And I think that's what hurts them the most. The ball's got to move and it's got to move consistently. And if they do that, then I think they can win the gold medal. But we know saying if is a big word, only two letters, but a very big word. So they're going to have to make some changes, and of course Kerr is going to have to figure out the lineup. I know he's been playing the second lineup. He's been playing everybody the same amount of time. Derrick White, Jason Tatum, Anthony Davis, and Bam Adebayo have all been playing the same amount of minutes, and of course Anthony Edwards has played some extra minutes. But they got to figure this out. We can't do the 5-and-5 thing. I don't think all the way through. I don't think that's going to win for us. So Kerr is going to have to make some adjustments.
Is he treating it like, how do you say, almost like an all-star type of game where, I mean, I would treat it more like the NBA. You've got your roster, you've got your lineup. If guys play, they play. If you guys got guys that are getting 10 minutes a game, 8 minutes a game, it's whatever. It's for the benefit of the team. I feel like he's might be coaching as if this was an all-star game. Well, I'm going to get these guys out, and then I'm going to get these guys out. I'm going to let them play. I'm going to let them run. I don't know if that's just lost in translation somewhere when it comes to coaching Team USA, because you're putting the best players possible from the NBA. Majority are all-stars a lot of time and superstars in the game. You've got to coach it, I would still think, as if it's a regular NBA team, man. I just feel like they buy into it too much.
Rudy, I think the NBA team is the problem. They got to think differently. It's like right now, if you look at it, Halliburton went from like 16 minutes to 14 minutes to 7 minutes to not even playing.
Yeah.
And they need a true point guard out there, and that's Tyrese Halliburton. He brings a lot to that team. He speeds up the pace of the game. He can hit that jump shot. It's not the prettiest jump shot, but he hits it at big times, and he's done it here in these exhibition games. And it's like Kerr has forgotten about him. I think he's pivotal for this team moving forward. They're going to have a guy like him that can get around guys, that can get in the paint and distribute, or he can finish. And that's what we're missing right now. We need him. He's big.
Yeah, I agree. And that's what I'm saying. It's kind of like you got to figure out and it's weird because you got to figure out the rotation, but this is something you had to have figured out way before the Paris games. You had to have this rotation down. I still feel like Kerr is still messing around with the rotation. He's probably still trying to find his starters. I personally, this is just me, and to explain it, I don't know, but I personally don't like when Anthony Edwards and LeBron are on the court together. I don't know why I don't like it. I think it's too much ball dominance of a player for both guys, and that's why I feel maybe they should be separated a little bit. But you're not going to put LeBron on the second team. Anthony Edwards is kind of making a big stink about coming off the bench. He wants to be a starter. So that's where I feel like, I don't know, is it time to let the balls drop and just say, you know what, I'm running this damn team how I want to run it and take these egos out? Because I think the egos are still trying. They're still basically, they're coming out, and it's going to affect Team USA in one of these games. And I feel like it's going to be a problem in one of these games, and that's why I don't have them winning the gold.
Well, I still don't trust them because of some of the individuals, man. Embiid is not a very trustworthy guy when it comes to team play.
Yeah, exactly.
And Anthony Edwards sometimes wants to be the leader of the ship. Devin Booker want to be the leader of the ship. I think the only one that's accepted his role basically is Jason Tatum, and he's the one that seems to have sacrificed his offense the most. other than Halliburton, who doesn't even hardly play. But yeah, they got to make some changes, man. They got to figure it out. I think Halliburton just makes them a better team. And as far as Anthony Edwards and LeBron, I think you give Anthony Edwards some minutes with that starting group, and if you got to sit LeBron down for 3 or 4 minutes while he's resting, you can turn the ball over to Anthony Edwards if that's what you choose to do. But yeah, I don't think they mesh together well either, him and LeBron. So Kerr's got a lot of different things he's got to figure out, man. They better do it now because next weekend they start the real deal.
Yeah, and I think people I think you and I know I can't really speak for you, but I know I was overlooking Class C, but knowing that they've still got to play South Sudan again, who they had trouble with. They got to play Serbia. When you have Jokic and you have Nikola Jovic, we've mentioned Bogdan Bogdanovic. I mean, they've got players, and Serbia is a team that can definitely slow the pace of the game down. They can make it very tough. They have a lot of big men for Serbia, so they can make it really tough and just make it a snail pace game for the USA, and that could definitely affect Team USA. So Class C, with the exception of Puerto Rico, I mean, Class C is not exactly a walk in the park for Team USA. And like Chris Leja saying, divas everywhere. That's the way I feel too. And Tim makes a great point. Eventually, we saw it during the regular season, Derrick. Ant's ego kicked in parts, and you saw how it affected Minnesota at some parts of the season. When that kicks in for Team USA, that's trouble.
Well, the good thing is Kerr sit him on the bench. I don't think it's good for the team overall, but I think Ant knows it's bigger than him. That's what it's about. So I'm sure they all talked and they had from the beginning, and they know that guys are going to have to sacrifice, and that includes when they get frustrated. You can't start going against the ship. You got to stay the grain, stay with the grain, and continue to trust the other guys and trust the process, as they say, and believe in these coaches. No one is bigger than this game, and that includes Anthony Edwards, and I'm sure he's mature enough now to know that. So I think on that part they'll be fine.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm worried about when the egos actually start coming out. And I used to maybe think, man, I always think about maybe Curry, but I'm not even having issues with Curry at all. I think Steph's at the point he's playing really good. It's just, I don't know. It's just certain guys.
Embiid is the main guy you got to worry about because you got to just go back to the history of what we've seen. Embiid is the whiner and all that. If it's not him, it's LeBron. But it's been Embiid more so even than LeBron lately with all the flopping and all that stuff. So he's the guy I'll be worried about mentally because every year it seems to, for some reason, they come up short. And at some point, you got to start looking at him. When you're looking at why Philadelphia always comes up short, we can't always use that Ben Simmons card. At some point, we got to start looking at Joel Embiid as well.
And Ben's not even there anymore, so you can't use that card. That's the thing. Phillies.
Well, people talk like he's still there. People act like Ben just ruined everything, and he didn't.
Oh, I know. I mean, you know what? Okay, he passed up a shot against the Atlanta Hawks that cost the 76ers. But how many years ago has that been, people? I mean,
right.
Like Ben hasn't been there in a good minute. So, yeah, once you stop pulling back the curtain and realizing that Philly's struggles are not Ben's, there's still a person that is there. I mean, you can't blame James Harden. He's not there either anymore. So there's one.
You can keep blaming Tobias.
Yeah.
You can keep blaming whoever you want to blame, Shaq Milton, whoever. At some point, we saw what happened with Doc Rivers. So hopefully Nick Nurse will do better this coming year. And it starts with Joel Embiid. It ends with Joel Embiid. And that's why I worry about even on the Olympic team, he would be the guy first that I would be worried about over everyone else as far as having the temper tantrum.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I see Jeff's comment here. I'm going to get into this comment here about Gilbert Arenas. I read a little bit about it. I heard it, and he even left a comment on there for us. But before I get to Jeff's comment, let me get to JC's real quick. Special Leaf T out here says, good evening. Should international play be included in a revamped NBA, making a more competitive global ball environment? That's kind of tough because, I mean, you're talking expansion overseas that would definitely have to take place. But if you're trying to international play be included in revamped NBA, make it a more competitive global ball, you'd have to add the rules about goaltending. You'd have to add, the different rules. What rules do you have to implement to the NBA to make it feel like international ball? Because I don't think a lot of these NBA guys would like a lot of those rules. It would be not
I know
beneficial for the NBA.
And it kind of takes away the game because in the international ball, there is no zone under the basket. The big man can stay in there all day, and you
Yeah,
can't do that in NBA ball. And I think people like that. That's the purpose of one of the purposes of them opening up the floor. They don't want a guy clogging up the middle, and they want the ball moved offensively. That's why they've made some of these changes they've made.
yeah, they put a premium on scoring. So I would rather see international play. I love the zone defense. I mean, if you want to have a big man camp underneath there, you know what? Then you got to make your jumpers. You got to find ways to get to the basket. I mean, we played high school ball. We played, you played college ball. Your zones allowed in those in high school and college. Never had a complaint about it. If a big man was clogging up the lane, you took it to him, you drew the foul, you got to the basket. I mean, there's ways around it, but because they emphasize scoring, I don't know if it would actually they'll be implementing anything right on there. Let's get to Jeff's question. So Jeff says from Lockdown to Arizona, what are your thoughts on Gilbert Arenas and his racist comments on Team Sedan? Comments that Embiid was throwing the game for Sedan, etc. He's getting cooked today. He also did mention basically it was Embiid throwing the game for his cousins, and the explicitive. They don't even have shoes. They get their shoes from America. We got to ship them shoes. They're shooting on peach baskets in the dirt. Those were Gilbert's comments. I did hear those comments. So, the to me, it's flat out. It's Gilbert Arenas. It's ignorance. A lot of ignorance comes out of his mouth a lot, even recently. But I don't buy any of the stuff that Gilbert says. Everything that he does say, man, about the comments and all that he's making. It's just trying. It's the social media times, Derek. We keep saying that. You're gonna say whatever you can say to generate what? Views, to generate likes, to generate people talking, the buzz, because it keeps you in the loop. It keeps your name in everybody's mind and mouth. That's why I come from the Gilbert Arenas thing. That's why I don't really pay attention to what he says.
Well, Gilbert says a lot of things that are off the wall. He better be careful so he didn't get himself a lawsuit. Talking about a guy cheating on games, throwing games, basically, and
Yeah,
that's what he said about Embiid. He might throw games, and the USA better be watching him. He did a thing on social media with the eyes, like we're watching you, Joel, and so all that crazy stuff. But a lot of the comments he said were totally unnecessary. But once again, it's Gilbert Arenas. I want to see good basketball. I don't want to be focused too much on Gilbert because that's what he wants. He's looking for attention, and I don't really want to give him that attention. I want to keep it on these guys that we represent our country, the Team USA.
yeah, I feel the same way. Those are the thoughts that I've got on it. I don't pay much attention to Gilbert Arenas. Um, Rarely in my opinion, does he say anything that's worth even mentioning or repeating. It's just for likes. You put a mic in front of everybody, and everybody, from the local level all the way to the national level, you see a lot of people that have mics in front of them, and they say whatever the hell they want to say. They don't care what they say. Why? Because it's going to get everybody talking and everybody looking. What it is, oh, you know what? I'm going to tune into Gilbert's podcast tomorrow because he said this. I want to hear what he says now. It's all fake stuff, man. It's just all fake
Hey,
stuff.
Rudy.
What's up, man?
And I'm gonna say this, man, because I listen to Gilbert a lot, and I watch that silly show, him and Nick Anderson, Nick Young. I like Nick, but Gilbert, man, sometimes he says some good stuff, but sometimes the guy is crazy, man. And we've got to look at who we're talking about. A
Right.
guy that had brought two guns to the locker room, man.
Yeah.
And I think he talks sometimes like people have totally forgotten that kind of stuff. Sometimes your credibility is not really what you want it to be because you've shown yourself to be someone else. And I think sometimes we see that with Gilbert Arenas. So yeah, I don't take a lot that he says serious. It's a lot of off the wall stuff. He says it regularly.
Yeah, that's the same way I feel about Gilbert. Tim saying South Sudan, big man, come on. who is attending Duke this coming season and is a top lottery pick. So he's a good talent player. Look out for him, Derrick. You don't have to tell Derrick to look out for him. Derrick's already has seen him
South
play.
Sudan.
They've got a lot
Yes,
of great
sir.
players, man. They've got a lot of great players for South Sudan. I mean, it's not even fun. I'm looking at it right now. I mean, you even got older guys like Don Maker, who is a former NBA player. It's going to be fun, man. I'm actually excited for the Olympics. I was excited to see South Sudan have a good run against the USA. They're going to get another chance at Team USA in class play. So it's going to be fun, man. JC, Philly still has a team, even with the team 100% financed, and you say them still talks of them moving to Jersey. That the 76ers? Is that what he's talking about? Or the Eagles? I don't know too sure. Or
I hope he's not talking about. I wouldn't imagine he was talking about the Eagles.
no, I
They're
don't
not
think
that upset with the team.
Yeah, 76ers. I don't know about the 76ers though, but yeah, nonetheless, man. Team USA, we got Olympics starting here in a minute. Before we go to commercial break, our last commercial break, Derrick. What do you got on Team USA? I know you're still probably strong on them for the gold, but I mean, the Class C, the Group C, is a difficult test. And what I was saying earlier to you was the fact that because you are in a lower end group, in my opinion, because I mean, like you said, Puerto Rico, South Sudan give them a scare, Serbia can give them a scare, but nonetheless, Team USA should still be number one. I worry about injuries when you're playing teams that are, not necessarily to your level. I worry about the injury factor. Do you still have Team USA getting all the way to the gold medal game? Because out of Group C, A and B is just killer, man.
Well, they got USA ranked number one. I think Canada's number two. If I remember correctly, Germany's like number four.
Yeah.
And they got Australia up there in one of the top six teams. It's going to be
France.
interesting, but we know France is right up there near the top. So we got to see, man. I still believe Germany's a dangerous team until proven otherwise. We're definitely not gonna have it easy. I talked to you earlier today, and I told you when I looked at the teams and really evaluated it, Serbia has played us one time. They have the Joker, so they're
Yeah.
gonna make some adjustments. I told you they're gonna slow the game down and make it where it's not as many possessions, not as many shots,
Yeah.
and they're gonna make the USA have to defend. So it's not going to be a total like the game with the first game when they played, when the USA won by 14, I believe, something like 86-72, something like that, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
But it's a different game. And then we have to win that game. And then 3 days later, you got South Sudan coming for their revenge. That's going to be interesting. And then 2 days later, you got Puerto Rico. So it's not going to be easy. We're going to have to play team ball, but hopefully we can get off to a good start this coming weekend and win game one. I'm going to stay positive. But yeah, I can't say we're going to win a gold medal right now.
Yeah, I'm all about Team USA. I'm all about, America and everything, but I still got them circled as bronze, man. I still got them
They
circled
don't
as
look that
bronze.
dominant, man. I
Yeah.
mean, other teams have had opportunity to beat them. Sudan had a really good chance to beat them, and so did Germany. So seeing a lot of these teams the second time around, even like Serbia, is not usually as easy the second time around.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to still stay focused for this group so that they can come out undefeated. Because there's no guarantee they're even gonna come out of this 3-0.
That is true because I mean the one thing about South Sudan is you gave them confidence. You gave them a lot of confidence. And moral victories are, some hate them, some love them, but when you give a team like South Sudan confidence, that's kind of bad, man.
Rudy, they have shooters, they have finishers, they defend, they have quick hands. They're a good team. They can shoot the ball, and they got a guy that's been there, Royale Ivy, and he's
Mhm.
been with them now for 3.5 years. And I don't think they're a team that's going to go away. I think they're going to be one of the surprise teams of the Olympics.
Yeah,
I
South
can see
Sudan.
them beating Serbia and Puerto Rico.
I do. I actually think, to me, South Sudan is actually the third best team in that group. But I mean, I could definitely see them beating Serbia. I mean, after what we've seen from them, they could very well be the second best team in that group, and that's saying a lot. That is saying a lot. Can they beat the Team USA? I mean, again, you saw what they were able to do in the exhibition season for Team USA. So anything is possible. Anything is possible. That is for sure. Are the issues with Team USA on players, rosters, or coaching? Kerr? Wow.
Both.
I would say both. If I had to pick one, I think it's coaching. I think it's definitely coaching. The coaching part should have already been nailed down. I think Kerr should have had everything nailed down way before way before these few exhibition games were happening. You should have seen already, a dominant type of team, the way they're going to play, rotation set, everything. But we haven't even seen that, man. So for me, if I had to pick one, it's coaching. But yeah, it's definitely both, Derrick.
The coaching still makes me a little nervous because, like I said earlier, the five guys off the bench, four of them have been playing the exact same time. Anthony Davis, Tatum, Derrick White, and I'm leaving out one. They all played 14 minutes, and then Anthony Edwards has played the most. Devin Booker, no, Booker's
Yeah.
been starting.
Drew Holiday.
But it's four guys. No, Drew started.
Oh, he did start.
Jason Tatum, Derrick White, Anthony Davis, and Bam Adebayo. Those four have been playing the same amount of minutes. They played 14 minutes in the game yesterday. And so Anthony Edwards played 20 minutes. So Kerr's been trying to go with this five guys and then switch in five, and he'll take out one of the starters and put in Anthony Edwards and give him some extra minutes. But that's not going to be good enough. They got to start playing guys who are playing well, according to who's playing well. I don't care about you can't go on the script that we're going to play a guy 14 minutes if he's not producing.
Yeah.
So it's time to win now. This is not this is no exhibition season anymore. It's all about winning and doing what's best for the team. And sometimes that might entail sitting down some guys where they're not playing the minutes they've been accustomed to. This is not preseason anymore. It's time to tighten up the let me see what I want to say, the rope, whatever. It's time to start reeling guys in now and going with a certain lineup and sticking to that.
Yeah, and that's what I'm talking about too, man. The thing is that you've got them in and out, in and out, in and out, but it goes back to, like, for me, it's the whole coaching thing. It's got to be coaching for me, because, like, if you go back to the original Dream Team. I mean, you had Chuck Daly as the coach. You had Krzyzewski. You had some good coaches there, but these guys knew how to coach, and they already had everything going in to the exhibition season and then into the Olympics. They had it down. They knew who they were going to play. But what I also feel is that you've got to treat it, like I said earlier, the NBA style of basketball, where you're trying to win. Because put it this way, if you've got a team of shooters out there, you've got to be able to match up to them. You can't say, okay, well, my five are out there. Oh, okay, well, let me get my next five out there. Hell, if you got no defenders, if you got nobody that can score on a certain lineup, what good is that going to do you? You've got to coach to what the other team is doing for you, against you. That's what I have a feeling that Kurt's doing. It's like, put him out here, put him out here, put him out here. Like,
hey, Rudy, have you ever thought about, not to cut you off, I'm sorry, but have you ever thought about, you have a coach like in Steve Kerr's position? Sometimes when you taste this success, guys don't listen. They can be a little hard-headed, a little stubborn.
Yeah.
I've seen Ty Lue try to talk to Kerr sometimes, and I don't know how receptive he is, but sometimes you got to come outside of yourself, and you got to give for the team as well, just like the players. And sometimes I wonder if Kerr really listens to Ty Lue's thoughts, or if he listens to his other assistant coaches' thoughts, what they have to say. And to me, that's important, isn't it?
It's very important. I mean,
you got Foster, who's won.
Yeah.
Ty Lue has won.
Yeah, and that's the thing is,
they haven't won 4 times, and I think sometimes a coach can get a little ahead of themselves. I'll say.
I believe so. I believe this is the case, man. And we got JC. Could Kirby playing it coy, holding back, purposely confusing the lineups for other teams? I don't think so. I don't think so at all, man. I don't think he's playing coy. Honestly, I really don't think he actually has it locked down just yet. I mean, I have yet to, and I've seen a couple of Team USA games. I haven't seen all of them, and I haven't seen the entire games, but there's times where they look good, and it's like, okay, this is what we're seeing. And then you've got the next game, South Sudan, and it's like, what the hell's going on? My thing is, where's the adjustments? If you are, the head coach of Team USA, you need to listen to your assistant coaches, because you've been a head coach, I've been a head coach. The thing is that I have assistant coaches. You have assistant coaches for a reason. There's things that I'm not seeing that you're probably seeing. I need your input. There is ideas where, you know what, I'm coaching this way, but it's not working. What do you have? I need your help. I need your input on this. That's the whole point of assistant coaches, man. I mean, they're there to help you succeed. They're there to help you. But I feel like you're right. He's not listening to him. And I don't know if he's playing coy, but I have yet to see this team gel the way they should have been in the offseason.
We're going to need to pick up the pace, like against Serbia. That's why I said Tyrese Halliburton.
Yeah.
You got a guy sitting down that averaged 10.9 assists a game, man. And we need to be getting out, using our advantage, which is getting out on the break. And that's what we need to do. That's how you don't kill guys on the other end. You can get out and get some easy baskets, and then you got a chance to get back on defense. But I don't like our half-court game that much. I think sometimes, like I say, we become stagnant. We don't move the ball quick enough or move it to the right guy. And that's what's been hurting us the most. So the guys are going to have to give in and stop being, thinking about themselves, I'll say, and start playing more for the team. And if they do that, then they've got a chance to win gold.
Yeah, before we go to commercial break, our last commercial break here, we'll come back, talk some NFL. We'll get to Jeff real quick. We actually talked about this a little while ago, the NBA completely going 100% FIBA rules and style. They won't do it. There's no way. You're talking about goaltending in the NBA. You're talking about clogging up the lane. They've been trying for years, and they've succeeded of getting out of that. Remember the 89 to 75 games. They want high scoring. They want fast-paced games. If you adopt the FIBA rules, you're talking about zone play. You're talking about a big man clogging the lane. It's going to be nothing but shooting, but you know what? It's going to be boring basketball.
Extreme physicality.
Yeah. So, I mean, you're definitely not going to probably adopt it. Now, can they adopt some of the rules? I don't know. I mean, I like the goaltending rule. It helps, for, when you're going to international play. But again, it kills the scoring. I mean, they love what they're doing in the scoring column, 120 points, 130 points. They love it. It's exciting for fans, but then you see the international play and it just kind of affects everything that they do for Team USA. So I fully don't think that they will bring in any type of FIBA rules at all. I think they're just going to keep it the way it is. When we come back, we're going to talk some NFL talk. Dallas Cowboys, CeeDee Lamb, Derrick, he's holding out. He's not going to report on Wednesday, tomorrow. So he's holding out. You got people screaming, you got to pay CD, but you don't pay Dak. Hello. We've mentioned before, Dak Prescott. We're gonna have to let everybody know again our feelings on why you do pay Dak Prescott. Hall of Famer Derrick Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. When we get back, it'll be NFL talk. It'll be the last quarter here for Sweep the League. Shout out to MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf T, also Castro and Sons Solar, and La Cocina Taco Truck. We'll be back. Howdy from Texas. You've got to be tired of the sizzling electric bills in the Texas heat, right? Well, partner, we've got the solution for you. Introducing Castro and Sons Solar, harnessing the power of the sun to save you some serious cash. Their top-notch solar panels will have you soaking up the savings in no time. Imagine lower electric bills, a reduced carbon footprint, and the satisfaction of going green. Their expert team will take care of everything from installation to maintenance. We're talking hassle-free, worry-free, and stress-free solar solutions. So why wait? Join the solar revolution with Castro and Sons Solar. Let the Texas sun shine bright and your savings shine even brighter. Castro and Sons Solar, empowering your home one sunbeam at a time. Call them today and let's get this solar party started. Can you imagine a world where nature meets wellness, where every sip you take nourishes your body and soul? Introducing Special Leaf Tea, A line of 100% natural, ready-to-drink iced teas crafted to boost your immunity and energy. With 4 unique flavors to choose from, as in hibiscus blueberry, tangerine ginger, pomegranate blueberry, or the original, you can indulge in the perfect blend of taste and nutrition. Their teas are carefully crafted with 2 times the antioxidants and no added sugar. They're known to help with blood pressure, hypertension, type 2 diabetes, cholesterol, weight management, and even provide natural energy without caffeine. Join the movement towards natural wellness. Order now at www.specialleaf.com and start sipping your way to a healthier, happier you. Special Leaf Tea. Nature in every sip. Proud sponsors of Sweep the League.
Shemaya, you did it.
Wendy, the king is crowned. Wendy, king is crowned. Future of the league, and he's wearing a crown. We playing justice, playing checkers, no contest. Wendy's got the game on lock, and he's making a statement. I'm talking about Wemby, the next in line. Future of the league, and he's shining fine.
That is the Wemby song. It is available on Apple, iTunes, Spotify, wherever music is available. Go download it now. Collaboration between STL and SOTB. We got a lot more music coming out. Are you wrestling fans? We got a Lucha Underground song that's getting ready to be released, as well as other songs worldwide. Shout out to our sponsors, MCS General Contracting, Special Leaf Tea, La Cocina Taco Truck, Castro and Sons Solar, all proud sponsors of Sweep the League, all in partnership. STL Sweep the League partners with Locked On Spurs. You'll catch us on Locked On Spurs. You'll have Jeff here on Sweep the League. Got a nice little partnership going there. This last segment is brought to you by MCS General Contracting, La Cocina Taco Truck, Castro and Sons Solar, and Special Leaf Tea, all proud sponsors of Sweep the League. And we're getting to NFL, man. It's funny because I'm looking at some of the comments and I'm laughing during the comments, and I have Leha in here. It says, y'all remember that scene from Rush Hour 3 where the cab driver is talking to us about USA basketball? It's going to be real funny if they don't win gold. I've been saying they're going to win bronze, so I kind of feel a little happy if they don't win gold, but it would be kind of funny. I do remember that scene in Rush Hour 3, man. People are kind of expecting them to win gold, and I mean, they got the talent, they got the team too. I just don't know if it's like a puzzle, Derrick. You got everything there and it's put together, but you got those few pieces that just don't fit right, and you got to get them in there somehow. It's just like, man, where does it go? It goes somewhere in here. That's the way I feel about Team USA, man. That's why I don't have them winning gold. Like, I really don't.
Well, the rules are one thing, and then the mixture of players is another. So we'll see if Kerr and the guys can make the adjustments. There are going to be several adjustments they're going to have to make, and they have to do them quickly. And hey, no time like the present. They got to figure it out. They go into these games this weekend, and I'm hoping we're ready. I'm going to support them. I think they win game 1, hopefully against Serbia. But, yeah, it's not going to be a cakewalk at all.
Yeah, definitely not. Leia's also here. Shout out to Castro and Sons. They got him set up with the panels. Quick thing about Castro and Sons Solar. If you guys contact them and you guys do go solar, we're going to take care of you here at Sweep the League as well. So you're going to get a nice little prize from us here from Sweep the League. We're partners with Castro and Sons Solar. I'm actually looking at to getting my solar panels up here pretty soon. I'm in negotiations for that because, geez, man, CPS bill. We don't have CPS out here. We have GVEC, and oh my God, the bills are crazy. I'm like, no, man, I got to figure something out, Derrick. I'm about to get a couple of pencils and start rubbing them together, what they used to do, and all that stuff from back in the day, man. I got to get something to create electricity out here because this is way too expensive. So, yeah, so Tim's jumping in here, and again, we're going to talk some CeeDee Lamb talk here for the Dallas Cowboys, overall NFL talk, but Adam Schefter's reporting that CeeDee Lamb's not going to be reporting the camp. He doesn't have a deal in place. They're trying to get a deal done to where he does get into camp. He wants to obviously get paid. I mean, he's making what, $13 or $17 million this coming season. He wants that Justin Jefferson type of money. I have no problem playing CeeDee Lamb. I have a problem with people like Tim's mentioning and other people saying you do not pay Dak Prescott. How many times? And I'm guilty, Derrick. I'm guilty because I was one of those guys in the beginning. Don't pay Dak. Don't pay Dak. He's not going to win you anything. He's not going to. Okay, he may not win you a Super Bowl, but who in the hell out there is going to win you a Super Bowl outside of Patrick Mahomes, outside of certain players? Dak Prescott was second in MVP voting. And you still have majority of people that say, don't pay Dak Prescott. Guess what? Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP. How many Super Bowls does he have? None. So why are we putting the blame on Dak? I mean, you got to have a quarterback in this league. There's no one better out there than him right now. Got to pay him, right?
Well, I think you have to pay CD first, of course. And I told you, I remember we had this discussion about Dak and Micah and CD, and I talked about CD was at the top of my charts as far as having to replace him. I thought he was the hardest guy to replace. So I guess maybe they agree with me because they're making sure they're going to get his deal done. Now, they don't want this to turn into a long holdout.
Yeah.
And they need to get him in camp as soon as possible. And I think they're going to make that happen. As far as Dak, I mean, you said it already. You know, I mentioned that many times. He was second in MVP voting. And there's nobody out there that's better than Dak Prescott that you could bring into the Cowboys organization right now. So you got to kind of let it ride and continue to try to put players around him. And that includes the offensive line. And we've never seen a full Cowboys, a healthy team with Dak as far as the offensive line all being in core. All those guys, and then in the back, in the backfield, defensively out there, the defensive backs, something is always going wrong. Yeah. If they can stay healthy, it still remains to be seen if Dak can lead them to a championship yet. But I think they definitely have to pay him. Man, we might be talking in the $60 million range. Well, I still think they have to make it happen.
So. And it's funny because I mean, we love Tim here. Tim always a part of the show, always makes his presence felt. But Dak doesn't show up in the big games. I mean, can the same thing be said for Lamar Jackson? Do you put Lamar Jackson on a different pedestal than Dak Prescott because he hasn't won the big game, according to Dak? I mean, let's be real. What Jalen Hurts has been there, Patrick Mahomes has been there. Joe Burrow's getting there. I mean, you're talking less than a handful of guys that can actually go to a team and make it to a Super Bowl. Less than a handful. But these guys would rather pay Justin Herbert as a Cowboy than Dak Prescott.
Hey, Rudy, who was first and second in the quarterback voting this year?
That was Lamar and Dak?
Yeah. I was kind of just making sure I wasn't, that wasn't senile. I mean, you got to pay the man. Lamar just got paid, and Dak is Lamar to the Cowboys. We got to be realistic about it. We might not agree that he's on the same level as Lamar or Patrick Mahomes, but he's the best option for the Cowboys moving forward. And on that alone, you got to pay. Market value is market value, and he's the best option out there. So you got to pay the man.
Yeah, you have to. I mean, even Jordan Love is holding out from Green Bay right now. He wants a paycheck. He wants to get his back. So if you're putting side by side Jordan Love and Dak Prescott, I mean, hell, if you're going to pay Jordan, you got to pay Dak. Dak's got way more experience. He's obviously got, more MVP votes than Jordan Love.
This right here says, can you see this paper? All right, if I'm his agent, that paper, when you go in with your resume, Dak's resume say you can remember that we're in the "what have you done for me lately" world, aren't we?
Yeah.
So what has he done lately? He's finished second in MVP voting.
Yeah.
So it's hard to tell him no when he goes in there and wants to be paid the dollars that he feel he's earned. If you look at his body of work, he's done what he's supposed to do. And on that alone, you got to pay him.
Yeah, not only that, I mean, the contracts are, I mean, they're going to be crazy for a quarterback. Let's be real. The quarterback is the main focal point on every football team. And, You're right. It's Lamar. It's Dak last year. It's 1-2. I mean, Tua Tagovailoa is going to get paid by Miami. What has he done? He doesn't show up in any of the big games in the regular season, but he's still going to get paid because Miami knows there's no other option for them out there than Tua.
Look, man, you got Jerry World. You can compare to any quarterback out there, and that includes Hurts getting that big deal, and then Lamar passing him up by whatever a million, whatever. But you got to remember where he's playing. The guy's playing in Jerry World for the America's team, the Dallas Cowboys, who have nothing but money. And you got to take Dak because he's the best option by far. If there was someone that was even a question that was on his level, it might be a debate. But the fact that you have no one better, no better option, you have to pay him.
100%, man. 100%. And then at what point does it come back to say, okay, Dak is not going to win us the Super Bowl? Well, last time I checked, Dak wasn't the only player on the team, but Dak's not even a head coach. At what point does it look at the head coach and say, can we get a head coach to get us there? That's where I look at it the most. I think Dak is serviceable, but the only way for a player to be successful is to have the right head coach. Tom Brady was not a first round pick. Hell, he wasn't even a second, third, fourth round pick. I mean, look at the career Tom Brady had. And it due a lot to coaching. Bill Belichick, the best coach in football. I mean, well, one of the best coaches in football, period. It goes to coaching. So at what point do we stop having everybody point the finger at a player and say, you know what, McCarthy just ain't going to get it done with him?
Mike McCarthy is Doc Rivers of the NFL.
I like that. I do like that, man. He's the Doc Rivers, man. I mean, McCarthy's won with what? Aaron Rodgers? I mean, is Dak Prescott prime Aaron Rodgers? No.
He's had all these rosters, and he's got
mean,
that one championship, just like Doc. And he's come up short with all-star rosters from that point on. It's not always just the players. It's the person that's making the adjustments or lack of adjustments, as you just said. And sometimes it goes back on the coach.
eventually, it has to go back on the coach, man. There's no way to even. I mean, after this season, if you don't win, which of course I don't have the Cowboys winning the Super Bowl, but if they can get to the NFC title game, I say it's a success. But no matter what, if there is no Super Bowl title at the end for the Cowboys, this has to be McCarthy's last year. They've got to move on completely.
Yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, I agree. You get no argument here. Even though he's did a lot better than Jason Garrett record wise, but
Yeah.
as far as the playoffs, he hasn't done much better or better at all. So yeah, I think this is possibly his swan song if they don't get it done this time.
Yeah, and a lot of people point to Dak against San Francisco a couple of years back when he ran the ball, didn't have a timeout, couldn't spike the ball. They lost to the 49ers in the playoffs. Again, it's one play, man. I mean, Dak, last I checked, Dak wasn't a cornerback or, a defensive end last year when they played Green Bay. I mean, he couldn't stop Aaron Jones. I mean, that wasn't his job. So, again, it comes down to the coaching staff for me. At what point? And it's got to be like, okay, McCarthy, you have a name, you have a Super Bowl, awesome. Wouldn't be the last time Jerry fired a coach, after winning a Super Bowl. I mean, that's for damn sure. It happened before. I mean,
Jerry's probably already looking at something, man, in case it doesn't go well early in the season. I don't know if they brought back Ezekiel Elliott. I still don't understand that, but I guess they know something maybe that I don't know, or they think they know something I don't know.
Jerry
But yeah, this is it, man. Mike McCarthy knows he has to win this year. This is make or bust. And if they don't win, you say getting to the Super Bowl or whatever, I think it's on. Getting to the finals, the conference finals, I don't think that's going to be enough. I think it's win or else in Dallas, and that's how I think the attitude Jerry has, because Jerry's not aging backward.
No, he's not. I think, like I said, even if they win a Super Bowl, I think Jerry should probably just move on from McCarthy. Said thanks for the Super Bowl, appreciate it. You're gone. I mean, do it overnight the way he did it with Jimmy Johnson. Just fire him overnight when everybody was asleep. Tim's reminding us about Danny White couldn't win the Super Bowl. I mean, one of the more statistical quarterbacks in Cowboy history, and Tony Romo, he couldn't win the Super Bowl either. But you know, there's one Super Bowl champion a year. And I always point back to one person, and you can have the greatest statistics in football. You can be one of the greatest quarterbacks in football and just never win the game. It's every damn sport. All-time leading scorer for a while was Karl Malone. I mean, he didn't win a title at all. You're talking, one of the best scorers, best duos in Malone and Stockton, Charles Barkley, Patrick Ewing. Go to Dan Marino. Dan Marino never won a Super Bowl. And he's arguably one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play the game. So, yeah, I mean, it goes back to
my brother never won one, 5-time first team all NBA.
Yeah.
But first ballot hauler, top 50 and 75, but he never won a championship. When you run into guys by the name of Magic Johnson, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and James Worthy, things might not always go the way you planned them. And sometimes guys just always seem to come up on the short end.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's the thing is that, you can be one of the greatest of all time and never get a championship, never get to that, that point ever. And that does suck, man. It sucks, but that's just the nature of the beast. We all can't be Patrick Mahomes, blessed with an Andy Reid type of coach and Andy Reid type of offense that you fit perfectly in, or Tom Brady, where Bill's got a structure and it works. I mean, we are all not blessed to have coaches like that. I think if the Cowboys were to get a better coach, and you know what, Bill's out there, so let's be real. Jerry's got a little bit of talking with Steven about maybe Bill. The only problem Jerry has is Bill's going to want a lot of control. I doubt Jerry gives up any of that control, man. Would you have already traded Dak by now for picks and or players? I honestly no. I mean, there's no way to trade. Nobody's going to give you what you're looking for in Dak, but at the same time, if you crutch yourself with no quarterback, you're doing more damage than anything. I mean, we're going to see how it balances out for Minnesota this year. You pay the best wide receiver in the league, but you still got to get him the damn ball. I mean, here's to hoping that Minnesota figures out they can get him the ball here. So, yeah, it's kind of a tough thing. I would not have traded Dak. I mean, maybe if I had a really good offer on the table, that would make sense. But if you trade Dak, you don't have a quarterback in return. Your season is lost before it even started.
Young guys aren't always the answer either, man. People get impatient. I had a quarterback I thought was going to succeed, and I really did. And you remember the name Blake Bortles?
I do remember Blake.
So sometimes it just doesn't work out, man. And then when you're trying to replace a Dak, you got to get a great offer to even consider it. And I don't think they've had anything that would match up that will make them happy enough to give up a Dak Prescott at this point. The team has continued to do better, and you got to factor that in. And Dak is part of that. I don't know why people never talk positive about Dak. The team has continued to get better. And don't you have to get better before you can get over the hump and win that championship?
Yeah.
So I think he's done his part, and now they got to pay the man. They got to break the bank for him, and I think he's earned it.
And that's kind of, remember what I said when we were talking about who do you pay between Micah, Dak, and CD. I was saying Dak's got to be paid. Most important position there. There's really nobody other out there that you can pay to help lead your team. And then I made the comment, in the draft these days, you can easily go get a wide receiver one. You can easily go get a defensive end one. And that's why I said I think out of all of them, Micah's going to be the one that's left out. And here we are. You pay CD, you pay Dak. Micah's going to be the one that's probably left out. And that's who I was saying a long time ago is the one guy I think, because you can go into the draft and get, a top defensive end, but you're going to lose Michael Parsons. And It sucks, but I think that's the way that they're going to end up going. I really do.
But even at the quarterback spot, do you remember how everybody was on the bandwagon, Cooper Rush?
Yeah, I was.
Is he the guy that can win a Super Bowl with you? Does he give you a better chance than Dak? That's been
No.
proven over the course of time and all these practices or whatever that that's not the right move. So
Yeah.
sometimes we could want to anoint these younger guys before their time, and then some we could want to anoint, but they just don't have it in them. And we have to sometimes come to be realistic and accept that and go. You know, you got to see what Stephen Jones. We don't see what they see, and sometimes you got to just believe in your team and the direction they're heading.
Yeah, and let me before we go, I want to reiterate this because I live by this, and this is from Jerry West. Rest in peace. I've said it before on the show. I'm gonna say it again. This is a perfect spot to drop a Jerry West quote. And what is popular isn't always right, and what is right isn't always popular. That's from Jerry West, and that is so true, man. The popular decision isn't always the right one. So, I mean, you want to cut cutting Dak, letting him go, letting him walk. That's the popular decision right now, but it's probably not the right one. What if he goes to another team, Super Bowl bound, Super Bowl appearances, has a chance at the big game? Then you're sitting there like, what did we do? Well, like, come on, man.
Did Sam Darnold start out blazing saddles? No.
No.
He's playing better, but he's still not. Did Trevor Lawrence? No. We could think all these guys are going to come in tearing it up. And then you get to the NFL, which is once again bigger, faster, and stronger. Yeah. And some guys just can't make the adjustment. And you see their ceiling quickly. They never get any better. But you got guys like Dak who has continued to get better, to ascend. And he's become the second in the MVP voting. So that means he is on the upward trend. And I got to roll with that. So, yeah, he's got to be signed. Micah's got to be signed, but they definitely need to take care of CD Lamb quickly.
Yeah. So I guess before we go, if you had to get one of those guys out, if one of them is the oddball out, which one would it be? I mean, for me, it's going to be Micah.
It's got to be Micah. It can't be CD. Let me say, didn't the man have 1,460 some yards last year? Yeah. So you got right now, he's hot as fire. So you got to go with him. The odd guy out would be Micah. And Micah's the one that does the most talking. And then Micah's has spells where he hasn't shown up in the playoffs. And that they don't talk about that as much as they talk about Dak. What about Micah in the playoffs?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to talk about everything, man. You got to look at everybody. But again, I think with the new NFL numbers coming out, I don't think they've been released just yet. There might be just enough money there to pay all three, but you might be crippling yourself by paying all three, and you have to kind of cut corners somewhere. So we'll end up seeing what's happening. Hey, this was Taco Tuesday. It was Hall of Famer Derrick Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. Coach Gio is still on vacation. Trust me, Derrick. We paid his NIL deal. He's good. He's just on vacation right now. So, but definitely shout out to everybody that was on the stream tonight. We were at 58, 60 plus on the stream tonight. So appreciate everybody joining us here on Taco Tuesday. We got more talk this week. And actually, I want to give a quick shout out to everybody from last night at the wrestling show. We've got more wrestling content that's going to be coming out. We've got a lot of shorts, a lot of videos coming out. We've got some guys that are going to be doing a lot of wrestling talk. So we are expanding more here on the Sweep the League Network. So just keep your eyes peeled. Hit the subscribe button on our YouTube channel. Go to YouTube at Sweep the League TV. Smash that subscribe button because we got a whole lot coming up. Lockdown says, do you think Jerry really wants to win? I think Jerry just wants to make money. That's what I've been saying for a while. You think Jerry
if he can make money and win, I'm sure he'd take it both ways. But yeah, of course, money's his first thing.
Yeah, money's got to be his first thing. One last one before we go. Who's the most pressure coming up this season, Dak or CJ? Honestly, it's Dak. CJ is just basically a rookie. I mean, yeah, he's still coming off the rookie season. So it's weird. We're going to talk more about CJ Stroud coming up probably later on in the week. I don't think he's going to have that sophomore slump that we see. But I do think he's going to have just a little bit about maybe the same type of numbers, maybe a tad bit less, I think, just because defensive coordinators are going to be able to.
teams are more aware of him
Exactly. So I think he might.
and the team. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I think it's gonna be Dak. And appreciate you, Louie, man. Great show, guys. Appreciate you, La Casina Taco Truck. Definitely got to hit them up, man. They got the best food out there, 100%. So for Hall of Famer Derrick Irvin, Rudy Campos Jr. until we sweep the league again tomorrow, we will see you later, knuckleheads.
Everybody have a good night. Stay safe.